Eadfrith is not a particularly famous name in the history books, but more than 1200 years ago, the skill and devotion of this godly man led to the creation of one of the most beautiful books in the world.
The Lindisfarne Gospels combine a work of art with the Word of God, intricate design interwoven with the Latin text of Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. The book is named after the tiny island on which it was created, Lindisfarne, off the coast of Northumbria, a place so imbued with spirituality that it's become known as Holy Island.
These days you can still take the old pilgrim's route to the island, so long as you time it right, because twice a day Lindisfarne is cut off from the mainland by the rising tide of the North Sea.
This week, how one of the most magnificent copies of the New Testament Gospels continues to inspire. And the Durham University Chamber Choir evoke the music of our medieval past in the Lindisfarne Priory ruins.
Well, the tide is going out and I can see from my trusty timetable that I've got a few hours before the sea rushes back in and cuts the island off from the rest of the world again. Enough time to take in the atmosphere and explore the place where Eadfrith worked on his masterpiece.
Eadfrith's book is held for the nation in the British Library, but this summer you can get a glimpse of its magnificence at a special exhibition in Durham University's Palace Green Library.
This is St Mary's Church, built on the site of Lindisfarne's first monastery, where Eadfrith painstakingly created his offering to God in words and pictures. And it's where tonight we offer our songs of praise.
I have an emotional reaction to all medieval manuscripts that I have the good fortune to touch. These were made by our predecessors. They were made by humans like ourselves, and as one looks at their writing, at their illumination, one can see something of the personality of the scribe, of the people who used it. What is remarkable about the Lindisfarne Gospels is that it is a masterpiece of calligraphy and of spirituality and art, and it is the alliance of remarkable preservation of a remarkable book with an amazing record of its history across the centuries, which we have every reason to believe, that makes it unique. It's all a masterpiece, but at the opening to Luke's Gospel, Quoniam Quidem, in the margins, Iadfrith, the scribe artist, drew a very smug-looking cat, and in his stomach, as it were, we see a progression of birds that are based on the cormorants that teem on Holy Island, and we know that monks from the Irish tradition loved their cats, and it shows us that they are attuned to their natural environment as well as to the spirituality within it. We shouldn't forget that although one man is writing, the whole community is involved in the project as a whole. Other people are making the parchment, other people are preparing it, procuring the inks, and it is a community effort, and equally, everybody who prays while one scribe writes is involved in the whole project. We can be confident that 2 years would be the absolute minimum it would take, but given the regular interruptions owing to inclement weather, waiting for supplies, the pressure of other duties, probably the best part of a decade is a better estimate. But we have to put this in the context of an eternal time frame. We tend to think in commercial terms something has to be done by next year. If you are doing this for all the saints on Lindisfarne, past, present and future, it doesn't matter if you finish it today or tomorrow. You're doing it for eternity, and what matters is the quality, not the time.
Holy Island is often referred to as a thin place, where the veil separating heaven and earth is lifted to reveal a glimpse of the divine, a place where people say they sense the endless cycle of prayer and praise echoing down the centuries. It's a feeling enhanced perhaps by the words of our next hymn, which in Iadfrith's day would have been sung in Latin.
Of blessed light, O unity of primal night, that far eastern now goes his way.
At the heart of the Lindisfarne Gospel decoration is the intricacy of Celtic knots. They're a particular inspiration for local artist Mary Fleeson.
There's a part in Ecclesiastes where it says a strand of 3 cords is not easily broken, and it's the weaving of those cords that makes it strong. It can be symbolic of the Trinity, so Father, Son and Spirit. Again, together they are stronger.
Here we are then on the same island where Iadfrith created the Lindisfarne Gospels. Do you feel a connection with him somehow when you're working?
I think Iadfrith was probably inspired by similar things to me. The beauty of Holy Island, it's a gorgeous place to be. The extremes on Holy Island, the extreme weather that we get sometimes, the sense of extreme isolation that we get when the tide's in. I think that Iadfrith was a marvellous artist. The attention to detail in the Lindisfarne Gospels is second to none. When you combine art and faith, you produce something very special which blesses other people and helps them to see God differently and to know God differently.
What is it about this place that makes it so special to you?
You can feel the prayers of those that have been before, all the pilgrims that have visited, the monks that lived here. It's almost tangible. You can almost touch it at times. The first time I came onto the island, we came over the causeway in a car and I just cried. Unstoppable tears. And I'm not given to emotional outbursts particularly, but something about the place touched me somehow. I felt like I was coming home. I never felt that anywhere else.